Hi, so here I am again with another video about Reiki. This time I'm coming from Larnaca in Cyprus. I'm here to teach a class, a first level Reiki class, next weekend at the Tree of Life Centre here in Larnaca. Here I am in my hotel room. This week I wanted to talk about love and compassion, which really should be at the heart of the whole of the Reiki experience. I've had it said to me a number of times, and I remember being taught this by my Reiki masters, that many people experience Reiki as they see it as akin to God's unconditional love, if you like. And I guess that's a really good description of Reiki. Now, that is not to say that to practice Reiki you need a belief in God or even a concept of God. You don't. But certainly some people who do have that belief would characterize Reiki as having that quality, that sort of feeling of being just unconditionally loved. And I think that is really sort of central to the whole practice. It is about unconditional love. And in a way, this is why Reiki is first and foremost a personal spiritual development practice, and only secondary does it become a hands-on healing therapy. Now, if you've ever been in the presence of an advanced spiritual practitioner, it doesn't matter what tradition they come from, whether they're a Christian or a Buddhist or a Hindu or a Muslim, doesn't make any difference. If you've been in their presence, you'll probably have been aware of that overwhelming feeling of contentment, peace, joy, harmony that just being in their presence seems to generate. Now, that sort of feeling, and I remember feeling this myself when I was in the presence of the Dalai Lama many years ago, that feeling automatically happens to those people that are in the presence of these advanced spiritual practitioners. Now, those practitioners, people like the Dalai Lama, for instance, they do their practice, their meditation, etc., firstly for themselves. They do it to develop themselves spiritually. Now, the consequence of that, the consequence of their inner focus, their focus on themselves, is that they take this healing effect, this quality, wherever they go. So, in a sense, someone like the Dalai Lama or any other advanced spiritual practitioner, wherever they go, they're having a healing effect. And that is happening as a consequence of them focusing principally on their own personal spiritual development. If we have as our focus with Reiki a desire and a wish to just go out and heal as many people as we can, this is a really quite immature view of how to work with Reiki, to be honest, because number one, you're not going to have that much of an impact. You might heal or work on, I retract that word, that phrase, you might heal. You're not going to heal anybody, because Reiki doesn't work that way. You are facilitating healing, let's put it that way. You may have an impact on quite a number of people, 100, 200, 300. This will always be less than you can impact if you work on yourself first. And, let's face it, if we all worked on ourselves, if we all tried to perfect ourselves, if we all healed ourselves and became the best expression of ourselves that we can possibly be, there wouldn't be anything out there to heal anyway. The world would be fine. So actually, the problem that we face in the world is this constant outward looking. We look at the world and we see problems. We see he's a problem, she's a problem, that government's a problem, that situation is a problem, that football team is a problem. Whatever it happens to be, we're always looking outwards and seeing the fault outside of ourselves. And the fault isn't outside of ourselves, it's in us. It's the way we relate to the world. And if we start to work on ourselves and we start to develop firstly, loving kindness for ourselves, compassion for ourselves, then it starts to become a lot easier to project outwards and feel loving kindness and compassion for other people. When we start to feel loving kindness and compassion for other people, their relationship to us automatically changes. Now, I remember telling my students, I tell them this, pretty much every class, when we practice the metta bhavana meditation, the development of loving kindness, when we practice that meditation, we have a working assumption that when we feel loving kindness to that other being, they somehow seem to change. And there's an assumption that my meditation, my metta bhavana meditation, my cultivation of loving kindness, has directly impacted on that other person, and they've now changed. They've become a kinder, more generous, more loving person. This is not true. What has happened is that we've changed. Our attitude to that person has fundamentally shifted as a consequence of our meditation practice. We've started that journey of perfecting ourselves. Now, when we do that, the other person then changes in response to us. We change first, they change in relation to us. So we see that they've changed as a consequence of our meditation. It's actually the other way. We've changed, they've changed in response. Now, this is where we should be going with our Reiki practice. We should be working on ourselves, feeling and developing loving kindness for ourselves, developing compassion for ourselves. When we do that, we have this immense ability to influence the world around us. The world changes in response to us. Just as when we do that metta bhavana meditation for this person, we're not changing the world, we're changing us. The world then changes in response to our inner change. So we do need to have this inner focus. This is where we should be going with our Reiki practice. So many times, outside of my students, where I emphasize over and over again the need to view Reiki as a personal spiritual development practice. So many times from other people who practice Reiki, I keep hearing this definition of Reiki as just a hands-on healing therapy. No, it isn't. This is to belittle the system. You are getting so little out of that system. I'm not saying that what you're getting isn't worthwhile. It is worthwhile, but you are not getting as much as you can if you just see it as a hands-on healing therapy. It has more to offer, and you will not access that unless you start working on yourself. Perfect yourself first, heal yourself, have an inward focus, and then the world will follow suit. I just wanted to talk about that a little bit today, because I remember seeing there was a post on Facebook came up from another Reiki master that really struck me. Richard, if you're watching this, it was your post. It was to do with the development of compassion. So I thought this was an appropriate subject to tackle this week. Anyway, that's me done for this week. I'll be back with something else this time next week from Cairo again. I'm not sure what time I land, but hopefully I'll be in time to make another Reiki recording. So from Cairo next week, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care.